I just realized as I'm doing this, I have the wrong glasses on. The wrong trousers, Gromit. Yeah, these ones. Such a difference. Such a difference. So crazy that those glasses can make me see so much easier. Goofy thing. Let me do that. Yep. Shrink the picture of me because you don't need to see me, but I want to see you and the stuff you're putting in the chat. Okay, so good stuff. TikTok live, check. Yoga, check. YouTube live, check. Coffee and categorizing, check. That was fun. That was fun. I should download that one and talk about the one about paperwork. I will call that when I upload today's recording of the TikTok live. When I upload that, I'm going to write that down. See, this is what I do. Upload TTL, TikTok live. Call it paperwork. The one where we talked about paperwork. Hey, very cool, Laura Voorhees. So I am curious. So awesome about you and the piano bench. Sing us a song, you're the piano bench. I crack myself up. Yay for getting a lot of work done. Feeling good about it. I'm curious, did you find anything interesting in there? Any treasures? Any like, what the heck is this doing here type of thing? My husband has a piano bench. Yay, Patty M is doing paperwork. So this is maybe a continuation of the paperwork journals. When I helped my husband declutter, he has a piano bench, and we decided that that would be a great storage space for lyrics to songs of his, lyrics to songs he had to learn for other people, and set lists that he has saved from various gigs. And while he probably doesn't refer to that stuff a lot, he frankly probably just prints it out again or makes a new one. At least those categories have a home. So I have that. Oh, there we go. Okay, lots of stuff from piano lessons taught back around 2008 to 2011. Okay, so you're going on an archaeological dig, huh? Revisiting the chapter of your life known as Laura Gibbon Voorhees' piano teacher. That show that ran from 2008 to 2011, huh? I love it. Very cool. Very cool. Now, I'm just going to take a moment here as we're getting ourselves started here to begin to download the, what do you call it? The recording of today's TikTok live. There we go. Got that started. And here I am. Okay. So, Patty M, not taking it out of the drawer unless it needs to go out or should go out in non-current file. That's way it's not all over. Okay, I will reorganize what's left later. Okay, so notice it can be overwhelming. Notice it can be overwhelming to have a lot of stuff on a in front of your face. So maybe doing a little bit at a time, much like when I recommend to people when you're decluttering your clothing, not to like empty out your entire closet, because that could be instant overwhelm and you've shut yourself down before you've even started. Yeah. Laura Voorhees. Yeah, I love this. Lots of non-piano stuff in the piano bench. Greeting cards, origami paper, random sheets of music for songs, leather seat repair kit. Yeah, isn't it funny the randomness that when we don't have a a specific home for something, we put it in any home, and then where to find it can be a bit of a thing. Here's a funny thing. So my husband, again, I'll just mention him because he is getting ready to pack for a very long time. I love it. Patty says we had an organ. We had an organ and with a bench, and there was a lot of that too. You know why? Because it has a way to shut it. You know, you throw things in there when you're rushing to get stuff done. Decluttering, not mindfully. You're just kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll just throw that in there. And here's the deal. We think we're going to remember stuff, but we don't. There have been a couple of times in the past, maybe 48 hours, where my husband, who's running around in a bit of a tiz to get ready, that he has asked me where specific things are. And it has really been helpful to the both of us, frankly, that I tend to be the person who knows where a lot of things are. And there's some reason, there are some things that he wouldn't necessarily need to know where it is. But I've been able to direct him to one of two kind of specific places where I think that thing might be. Do I know 100% that it's definitely there? Not necessarily with the two things he asked me about. However, they were in one of those two places as opposed to, which I crack up about. Hey, Erin Collins, you guys, Erin's showing up and doing paperwork too. Awesome. Awesome. So as I joke, but it's true. I grew up in a family that we kid because, and we laugh about it because there's some truth in it, that the family motto, we would have to translate it into Latin. I think I did at one point. It's probably written around here somewhere, so it wouldn't sound as goofy as it does, but I swear my family's motto is, it's around here somewhere. Now notice that feeling of it's around here somewhere versus I'm not sure where it is, but it's probably in one of these two places, which is more like how I'm living now. And lo and behold, my husband checked both of those places, and he found both times, found what he was looking for, as opposed to saying, well, it could be anywhere. It could be in the piano bench, that type of thing. So you know what? We learn from certain people, and then there we go. Yeah, if we didn't throw it away or recycle it, so it's got to be here somewhere. Yes, and knowing just a little bit more specifically, not necessarily exactly, but closer than anywhere can be a wonderful feeling, you know? And when you start to get into the habit of this, you know how good that feels. So you may do something like say to yourself out loud when you put something there, this is the new home for the steak knives. This is where I'm putting all of my random travel accessories in the bottom left-hand drawer of my bureau, or in this bag that I used to carry around New York City that I don't anymore. There's some stuff that I use less frequently, like my international travel stuff, like my leftover monies and my what do you call them? Charging cubes and things like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't want you to reach for perfection. I don't. Perfection is unattainable and you'll disappoint yourself a wicked lot. What I hope you're doing is learning incrementally, because that's how we do things here, step by step, little by little, inch by inch, how good it can feel when you know where some things are. And if you associate that feeling of knowing where something is with a good feeling, you may be more encouraged to use that same process. It's something we all probably did at a certain point when we moved into our houses, and then we got out of the habit of making specific homes for things. Now, the interesting thing for me anyway is going to be what the specific home is going to be for some of our stuff down the basement once the basement is done, which I hope is today. And the funny thing is the way we set things up before was only because we used to have water running through our basement the whole time. So we literally had the shelves lined up to avoid where the water would run through it. Well, now the water doesn't come. So then it's, do we put it back where it was? Did that work? Maybe. Or do we try something new? It really doesn't matter at the end of the day, unless it's glaringly dysfunctional. But what I would say is putting it somewhere that makes sense to you, putting the tweezers near your fingernail clippers or something versus with the Christmas decorations, something as absurd as that. But putting things in a place that makes sense to you, that looks good, that functions well, that makes it easy to get that thing, easy to use the thing, easy to put it away, that can be a good feeling. When you practice that and you don't try to over-optimize it, well, maybe over here, maybe over there. Sometimes I do that, but sometimes just having the repetition of saying, yes, I know that that's where the scissors belong can be just so wonderful to just kind of add that to the side of the things that just become an unconscious habit of knowing where to reach when you're looking for scissors. Yeah. And LO says, piano lessons through the 8th grade. Still remember favorite tunes, a testament to the eyes, brain, heart, and hands working together. Yeah, when you combine all those things, you can remember things. I mean, I can't remember the last time I rode a bike, and I learned prior to age 10. I mean, literally within the past decade, I have. But you remember things that you don't even realize it. So you have dormant um, neural connections, as they say in the declutter. Well, not the decluttering biz, more like the life biz, life coaching biz. Um, so anybody, since we've got a nice core little group here, again, in case there's anybody new who's just lurking or walking by, hey, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. My website is Destination Decluttered, all one word, .com. And I do TikTok lives and YouTube lives a lot, not all the time. But if you want the schedule's up there. Okay. There we go. Yes, I still remember the first story from the beginning French class. Yeah, I vaguely remember my Spanish class in 7th grade. Juan es guapo. Juan es muy guapo. You know, Maria es fea. It's like they started already by telling us people were handsome and ugly. What the what, people? But yeah, notice how I remember that literal decades later. Okay, so an update for Laura Voorhees. She's been working on her paperwork that is originally and stuff that's come from her piano bench. And notice what she's doing too. She says she's down to two she's down to two piles. I love that. Yay. Yay. And not for your brother calling you fat and ugly in Spanish. Siblings. No, you're not. We love you. But here's a cool thing. Erin, who is dedicating some time and energy and focus to do some paperwork organizing and chunking down, categorizing, just found a $25 Sephora gift card. And she had the fear that it was lost. So now she can treat herself. Look, the universe gave you a treat. It rewarded you for doing something that you initially didn't want to do, but you said, oh, I'm going to do it anyway. Yay, you. So anybody stuck paperwork wise? Because there is just a handful of people here, and we get very few. This again reminds me of trick-or-treaters. We get very few trick-or-treaters, people stopping by. I mean, the door is open. We've got the candy. And we are open to anybody here. But in the meantime, we're going to hang out in the living room waiting for the trick-or-treater saying, hey, can I come in and get some candy? Or we'd go to the door. So I ask you all, people who are decluttering paperwork, how's it going? But more so, because I hope it's going well. I'm going to infer that it's going well, unless I hear otherwise. If it isn't going well, let's get into it. I am seriously, you guys, I am here to help you. Okay? Yeah. Oh, completely. Wendy LCM. Yeah. Okay. So how many comments have we seen where people find money when decluttering? I know that there's a TikTok live out there once where I started adding it up, and it was easily thousands of dollars because somebody found like hundreds of dollars in cash. Somebody found a check. It was really fun. But I want to remind you too that it's not just those external rewards. I mean, trust me, everybody, I don't mind finding an external reward. Please, I'm not whatever. But the internal reward of feeling better than you did when you started, feeling good, feeling proud of your accomplishments, that's the kind of thing I also want us to not forget. Okay? So Patty M, I don't think you can help. Okay, it's more emotional. Designs and drawings to building of a house. Okay. So this is a sentimental item. Yeah. This is a sentimental item. I have paperwork for an addition, not an addition, like a rejiggering of our garage that we thought we were going to do, God, 10 years ago, something like that. And then we priced it out, and we had it written up, you know, with architects and everything. And then we were like, no, that's out of our budget. Do I still have that paperwork? Yeah, it's in that closet right there, wrapped in a tube. So maybe, I'm curious, Patty, and it's all mixed in with drawings that did get done. Okay, so notice you have two categories: the drawings that did get done and the drawings that didn't get done. Do you still want the other ones to get done? Now, I notice I already outed myself by saying we're not gonna, we're happy with where our house is now. It's fine. It's not perfect. It's fine. We love it. I don't want perfect. And what we had there, it wasn't, we would rather spend the money, frankly, on travel. But do I still have that paperwork? Yeah. I could technically put it in the recycle bin. I haven't yet. I could. So, Patty, just allow yourself to feel the feelings of the emotion when you look at those papers that of the things that didn't get done. But also practice feeling the other thing. Look at the papers of the stuff that did get done and ask yourself of the both of these, do I need or want any of these at all? And if I do want them, do they need to be stored where I currently have them stored now, or is there someplace else? Okay. Hey, Heather MC. I love it. I love it. Heather MC has decluttered my nightstand this morning, a regular offender. Of course, there's always going to be those hot spots. It's a teacup impound lot. I love that. How funny. All right, get your little tow truck out, right? You get the little tow truck up and you tow those those teacups out to the parking lot known as the sink. Notice the habit you have of leaving a teacup on your on your side table there, your nightstand. I'm not judging. I'm so not judging, but be like, oh, interesting. Yeah, I tend to leave. I have been in the habit. If you want to distance yourself from something, put it in the past tense. Okay. Yeah. Okay, where to store them? Alrighty. Where to store them? Couple of things. Patty, mine's rolled in a tube and it's labeled and it's standing up in the corner of the closet behind me. And it has a thing on it that says probably like the year and blueprints for garage idea 2010. Similarly, LO says, how do I make it easy for others to understand how I've organized my paperwork? You can write them down directions. Not to sound morbid, but I've done this recently, and I have a shared Google document. My sister may forget that I shared it with her, but it literally says, if we happen to die while we're traveling, and you have to sadly come and find the stuff in my house, here's where some things are. So write down a treasure map. That's how the pirates found where they buried their pirates' booty. And it depends on who the others are. And even saying, does anybody else need to know how I've organized? Why would somebody else? I would start with that. Why would somebody else need to know how I put together my paperwork? And it's like, well, this person would in case I died. Okay, let me make a plan for that. I have some of my mother's paperwork that has a big old piece of paper on it that I wrote in Sharpie with the date. And this is like, I don't even know what it says, but I have it organized. So if somebody was going through, this is the thing, labeling stuff. Labels are going to be your friends. The labels of your categories. Paperwork, all the paperwork I kept from 2024, that can be in a bag. They will know what it is. You will know what it is. Labeling really saves you having to look at stuff and figure out what it is. As soon as you have, and this might be helpful to the people who are decluttering paperwork right now. Help out your future self. Notice when you have those categories. Okay? And I offer to you that once you have that category, get a piece of paper, get a clip, label it, and say bills that need to be paid, and maybe clip it together with a cover sheet. I have a bunch of this. Where is it? Right here. I have a bunch of this orange paper. I bought like a ream of it. I'm going to be writing notes on this stuff till the day I die. But then I get a big thing and it says, like I did this for my mother's thing because I pay a couple of bills for her. And it was literally like property tax bills paid. And I put a clip on it. And so every time I do it, I just do that. So when I go digging through her stuff, because it's in another thing with taxes, that it's easy to know exactly what you have by labeling it. Okay? So Patty M is saying summer kids' drawings of their rooms. Okay, too deep. Notice you're feeling feelings. This is why I did not pull everything out of the drawer. Yes, and I highly recommend knowing if it's going to be emotional stuff. Yes, testing yourself and seeing how you're feeling and knowing when you're feeling like I've had enough. Okay? Yeah. Right. Right. And when Wendy, so notice, I wouldn't leave the roadmap in a place where someone who shouldn't see it. Right. So who should see it? Notice what I decided. And again, I went to the morbid place. Okay. I went to the morbid place that if I die, my sister is probably going to come down here to Pennsylvania from Massachusetts and have to be the person in charge to clean out. If she passes before me, I'll share this info with somebody else. So notice where you keep it and who you give access to it, because you could hide the note, but let somebody know where the treasure map is. So just getting curious about that. Because here's the thing, I have some stuff in random places, cash tucked away because I don't know, just because. But I have a map to where that is so that things do not get thrown away or given away or sold. I mean, we've all seen, at least I have, those TikTok things of people who go and thrift something and find money in what they thrifted because the person who gave it away did not know that there was cash in it. So I highly recommend don't be that person. Literally, before you donate anything, go through every single pocket. Check to see if there are hidden pockets. If you're donating books of somebody else's and they were a person that might hide things in books, open every book and just shake it and see what falls out. Make it so that you feel nervous system comfort, security, safety, that when you donate something, you're also not donating something good or valuable. Okay? So your system has to work for you, and it could have to work for other people, but not necessarily depending upon your situation. My sister doesn't care. I don't care how my sister pays her bills or where her stuff is, but when she passes, I hope she has the things organized so that I know, even if she didn't give me a map, what's important and what's not. And you probably will overkeep some stuff. So there's that. There's that. All right. So what else can I talk about paperwork wise? I like thinking of this. Paperwork is proof. Paperwork is evidence, physical evidence of something. Patty has evidence of a thought that she had about getting parts of her house redone. Paper evidence of what her kids thought that their rooms looked like and drew a picture. Evidence of having paid a bill. Evidence of having gotten divorced. Evidence of needing to pay a bill. Evidence of a donation you've made. Evidence and proving to somebody. So I get curious sometimes and say, why am I saving this? Who do I need to prove to, that why am I saving this receipt that I bought a bunch of stuff? Well, because I might return it. Well, if I didn't return it, why else would I save the receipt? Well, no good reason. And then it makes it easier to throw it away. Hey, Marietta, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the group. In the club, we all fam, as we like to say. Destination Decluttered. What time is it? It's 25 past 11. Excuse me. We're here for another 35 minutes. Yeah. Permit of egress and finished basement. Okay, so Patty, I don't know. Do you ever need to prove that to somebody? I mean, here's the deal too. The other thing about paperwork is I probably am, and I don't even want to say guilty of because it's nothing to be guilty of. I choose to keep some paperwork that could easily possibly be proven in a digital file somewhere. Okay. And so I'm cool with that. I would rather slightly over save some paper than run the risk, and notice the risk of just feeling unsure if I needed to find something. And the neat thing is about paperwork, and I love it. It's so interesting. Yeah, but I fold it. Yeah, you do. But I found it under a folder marked coupons. So see, here's a funny thing, silly goose. Is that's a matter of organizing, deciding what a thing is, a category it belongs in, and where does that category belong? Notice how that egress stuff or whatever is not something you're looking at every day. But if you don't look at your coupons frequently, you're going to find a bunch of expired coupons. So notice that there are high traffic areas in your home, places that you can get to easily in the rooms you tend to be in. Don't put your Christmas ornaments on high traffic area. Don't put the things you don't need to look at regularly or at all until you need to. Why put them in the valuable real estate that makes it easier for you to access things? Now, I say this not to you right now because you're actually looking at this. Do not judge yourself about what you did, but you can do something about that now. Okay. Now, here's a fun thing. And good morning, that one persona. Nice to see you. LO, definitely a love-hate relationship with paper. What do you love about paper? Put it in the comments. Let's start with the love as opposed to the hate. We are always ready to complain, but paper is there to save your ass. Paper is there to help you prove to somebody that something was done. So paper is there to help you, not hurt you. Paper is there to help you. Think of every way. I prove that I paid my taxes. I prove when I leave Costco with this paper receipt that I prove that I bought the stuff I have. It's going to save me from being arrested as a shoplifter when I have the proof that I bought it. I have the proof that I own my car outright. So if I decide to sell it, I can prove that I am authorized to sell it because I own it. Yeah. Well, there we go. Now, Wendy says, I love that paper gets me away from devices. Ooh, see what a nice thing. Yeah, you spend a lot of time on screens. Paper's an old friend. Paper is reminding you of the notebook you wrote on in 7th grade. Gives your eyes a break. Yeah, I love the fact that frankly, the paper does not have the light behind it because my eyes get bugged after a while. Yeah. Yay, Laura Voorhees, one pile down. Check. Need to get up and move around. Yes. Take breaks, people. Take breaks. Taking stuff to the recycle will afford that opportunity, but also feel free to stretch, walk around, go outside, inhale some fresh air. It may be crisp and cold like fall. You can always go back, and sometimes when you go away, it can be easy to come back because you got away versus sticking to it. Okay? Now, LO notices I love expressing ideas on paper, sentimental paper. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you guys, boxes of sentimental paper right there, right? Right? Also, hand weights that I have yet to really get in the habit of using. Total human moment. Oops, there we go. So evidence. And here's a fun thing, LO. I don't know if you were on the TikTok live this morning. And if you were, and I'm repeating myself, I apologize, but good ideas are worth repeating. Okay. And I offer to you, if anybody's hydration word is offer, you're going to be taking some sips. I offer this idea to you. Our usage of paper sometimes isn't for the result of having something to then keep. It can be to help you in that moment focus down on a piece of paper, down to the pen point. Focus on the words that make sense to you about a situation, whether you're taking notes in a class or during a meeting or noting what's going on in yourself and putting it into words. The process of writing down can be incredibly helpful. Now, sometimes the result of that writing down can be something that's going to be useful for you after the writing process is done. Sometimes it's not as important as having done the writing. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Now, Wendy says, I have a friend from high school that loves getting handwritten letters. So I also love to do adult coloring books. I will send her one of my color works so they don't pile up in my basket. Yeah, that's another thing. I love that idea. So, like adult coloring books, notice that's paper that's real benefit to you is you using it to do the coloring. Once you have the end result, a colored page, it's kind of over, right? So just notice the subtle yet important differences of was the important thing for me to keep this, or did I need to just kind of use this paper as part of a process? I think of this too with the parents or people who save every single piece of paper that their kids wrote on and brought home. Sometimes they don't want it. The kids don't want it, but they're told to bring it home. Definitely the teacher doesn't want it. But what does it prove? It proves that I did my ABCs well. It proves that I knew how to draw a picture of an elephant. Do you want to keep that long term? Maybe, but maybe not. And either decision is okay. Either decision is okay. This is one of the reasons I was just thinking why I love to have my book, my permanent, my good book of things I totally know I want to keep. And I know I want to keep them because they are typically things that have been written down in my transitional book, my daily roadmap. I choose the things from today that I want to save permanently, and I write them in this book. And this is a process I've done for 5+ years now. But my daily thing is also as a bunch of random things. Like I'm not about to write down, check for mom's MasterCard statement. Now, I could say I checked for mom's MasterCard statement, but I want this to be the really good stuff. Like I walked to book club at La Patrona and I had an 8 p.m. YouTube live. That was from last night. Sometimes paper is just temporary in our lives. It doesn't need to be permanent. Okay? Yeah. Uh-huh. Now, Erin Collins says, I have my daughter's class schedule on paper with her cute handwriting on it. I know I don't need it because the schedule's online, but it's so hard to toss. So keep it. But so think about it though. You can keep that for the duration of whatever the semester is. And when that semester is over, you may feel better about letting it go because you'll have one for next year. And notice what you're saving is not the schedule, because notice the difference. The thing that's making you save it is the emotional attachment. It's not to the schedule, because if it wasn't written on, you could get the stuff that wasn't written online. You are saving it because you love your daughter's cute handwriting. And that's totally okay. That's the story about the thing is attached to that piece of paper, Yeah. I'm saving her adorable little handwriting. She's so stinking cute in every way. And I hope you let her know how much you love that. Maybe you could suggest to her to write you something in her cute little handwriting, copy over a poem you like, or here's an ode to my mother, Yeah. Now I will offer to you too, because Wendy is suggesting, I think I would put that with her grade cards to save for the memories of this school year. And what I say to that is yes, and many people save those things because many of us did not have those things saved for us. Okay. What I will offer though, and this is a great way to shift the dynamic and change the generational approach to clutter, is you could do that and collect up everything from school year 2025 to 2026, and you create a box and you put it in there. But then at the end of the school year, you have a date. You have a cute little date with your cute little daughter, and you both sit down and you have fun, as we would say in my family, walking down memory lane, bringing these things out and making another good memory about it, and knowing that as you go through it, you can ask her, would you like to save this for your book? This box is now going to be your stuff. Would you like to keep this? If you want to, great. But if you don't want to keep it, and this is where we might feel a little bit of tension, If you don't want to keep it, that's okay. Okay? Yay. Yeah. I love this. Patty M talking about the quote, the good book. I call it my travel journal. I started my good book today. I wrote it on my whiteboard for last week and took pictures daily. I finally wrote them down today in my good book. Moms tend to think it's no big deal, but it does add up. Yeah. So, yay for you for collecting up evidence on paper, but just a small amount of paper. I mean, think about that. This is 2 years worth of good stuff. 2 years worth of good stuff, the way I do it, fits into a book this big. So I say to you, this is a much better way to declutter the stuff, but keep the story, keep the memory. So yay for doing that. I love it. I love it. Any other place anybody's getting stuck with paperwork? I'm here to help. I will cheer you on like nobody's business, congratulating you for your stuff you're doing. You are doing an awesome job, and don't let yourself forget it. That's why you remember it here, because up here tends to dismiss the good and accentuate the negative. It's just the way we're wired as humans. Knowing that, and if you focus on the negative too much, it tends to make you feel not so good. Let's make a habit of remembering the good stuff. And this is paperwork. This is stuff that nobody else ever needs to see. You're not proving it to anybody but yourself. This is why I have in my book, like, what do I call this book? Book number 3, Road Trip Travel Journal, Travel Memories. My travel journal, my road trip journal, the good book, my appreciation journal, my gratitude journal, my brag book, my wish list. These are things that all of my clients have called this. My book of positive attributes. And then I have a little square around this. This is evidence, proof of a life well lived. Yeah. Now, if after I die or while I'm alive, somebody else happens to read this, I don't care. I write this book for me. I write this stuff. I have made it a habit that gives me more reward than the effort it takes to remind myself of all the good things I do and the good things that just happen to me and for me that give me evidence of a life well lived. And I like that feeling. Even right there, looking at 4 years worth of books that only take up, what is that, 6 by 9 by like 3/4 of an inch? Such a small amount of space, but within that, it's like the dictionary in a way. It takes up a book takes up a small amount, but it contains volumes. All righty. Yay. Yay, Wendy. I have been really good at habit about getting junk mail into my shredder basket instead of letting it sit in a pile at the front door. It's my pat on the back moment for paperwork. Awesome. I love that. I love that. Yes. And what I will suggest to you, Wendy, because this was a total game changer for me, now that you're in that habit, before you shred it, what you might want to do is take a moment, sometimes it's less than a minute, and unsubscribe as much as you possibly can from the junk mail that comes in your mailbox. It does make a difference. I swear to God, upside down, backwards, forward, sideways, I could show you the stacks of even just one page of one example of one place that used to send my mother junk mail. And she would complain about it and throw it away and complain and throw it away. And it kept on coming. I said, well, you know why? You never told them not to send it to you. Oh, that's too much of a pain. Oh, fine, I'll do it. This is me. Now, I know she gets maybe 2 pieces of mail a day. Sometimes they're junk mail, but they're not worth unsubscribing to. They're just, random postcards that you know is junk. So I suggest to you that feel good, embrace it, live it, love it, because it's better than you were. You might also want to experiment with the unsubscribe. I'm doing that myself, and I am getting far fewer things in the mail, and it feels good. Okay. Damn, matchy match time. And matchy match time for Wendy, or excuse me, Laura. Greeting cards sorted out into categories. Sorted out cards that have dedicated envelopes. Now I have size graded stacks and size headed envelopes. Putting the two things together to make it easier for you to send the cards. I love it. Yeah, exactly. My car insurance place sent me a letter yesterday to try to get to move my banking to their bank. Yeah, no. You could probably call your car insurance place and tell them to get yourself off of their postal marketing list. Postal, not email, marketing, junk mail. You could call them up, you could send a message through I've done it many different ways. I typically like to call up, but if nobody's answering, I will use whatever the email contact is. And I actually got something back 2 days ago from the Salvation Army. They sent me something and I was like, here's the deal. It doesn't mean that I don't donate places, but I don't like to be pushed to. When I decide I want to do it, I will reach out to them to say, yes, I will donate. Some people won't though. They react to those things. So obviously there's something in it for them. Enough people respond to that junk mail to have them keeping on doing it, but I don't have to be one of those people. Yes. And I will tell you, Wendy, I have such a system for this. I know there's a TikTok thing. You find an 800 number, you call up and you say the following. Hey, and you find if you have to go booping through like who you think it's going to be, but then you say, hey, I'd like to be removed from your postal marketing list. And this is the other key. Is that something you can help me with? Now, I add that specifically for a couple of reasons. Okay. And I do that because most people don't want to say, no, I can't help you. So already they want to help you with something because helping somebody feels good. Sure, I can help you with that. Yay. Sometimes you hear, no, I can't help you with that, but I know who could. Let me transfer your call to get you to somebody who can help you with that. And then typically they'll ask you for your name, your address. I don't know. Sometimes there'll be like a little wonky code on there. And then they'll put it in there and put you on like the do not disturb list. And they'll say, well, some stuff might be in the mail. It might take 6 to 8 weeks, maybe 12 weeks. But after that, you're not going to be on our stuff because some stuff is already in the system. It is time well spent. It is time well spent. Okay. Yes. And if you keep on getting an error when I try, I need to just call and get it done. Yes. Yesterday I was changing one of our subscriptions and I thought I was doing everything right. And it said, no, you're wrong. Get in touch with customer service. So I got in touch with customer service and boom, they were able to do it in a heartbeat. Yes. And trust me, yes, what a great way to get the customer. Yeah. What a great way to get to the correct department. I do always try to be kind to customer service. So do I, because I worked in retail customer service and they get beat up enough. So let's not be those people, right? We can be the people who get it. Be nice to them. Thank you so much. You have been so helpful. No. And this is is there anything else I can help with? No, there isn't. As opposed to, nope, I'm good. Bye. I say, no, there isn't. But thank you so much. You've been very helpful today. I really appreciate it. Give them a little nubbins. They get beat up all the time. I will share with you guys. This was funny. At one of my last corporate job, I managed a bunch of different teams and I had a bunch of different roles because they were always wanting me to move around to someplace else because I did such a good job. And at one point, I don't know why, our department, because they were making shit up as they went along. Our department ended up having to answer customer service calls for people who are having issues with their websites. And everybody who I answered the phone had a complaint. And I said, and I know that's why you're there, but I turned to somebody, I was like, oh my God, every single time I pick up this phone, somebody has a complaint. This is wearing me down. And it makes sense because people rarely call up to be like, oh, hey, just thought you did a good job, So doing the best you can with that, because that takes a toll. Man, all you're hearing is people frustrated and mad and getting in touch with you because they couldn't solve the problem on their own. We, destination declutterers, are kind to everyone except for haters. And then we just kindly scoot them along. But we are kind to people who have it rougher than ourselves. They're the ones stuck there having to take a certain amount of calls and will get in trouble if the people are, all that kind of thing. So yay for us for being good to them. But being good to them is also being good to yourself, because if you don't want that quantity of junk mail, I will tell you, if you say, no, it takes too long, I don't have time, you will spend more time getting that stuff in the mail and walking to the recycle bin if you don't change their system, that habit of disrupting what you don't want and changing the direction of it. It has worked. I have paper proof because I saved every piece of paper from my mother's and my own. So I know, for example, I swear I got in touch with the Salvation Army before. I didn't feel like looking for my paper, so I just called them up again. Or I actually used the form on their website, and somebody actually emailed me back to say, thank you, Elizabeth, we got your thing. We will remove you from the mailing list. Thank you. Because if you think about it too, you're also helping that company, because that company now has saved one envelope's worth of marketing materials, sending it in directly into your trash bin. Now they can send that to somebody else who actually might respond to it. If that kind of marketing doesn't work for you, know that and unsubscribe as soon as it pops up. That's me with text messages. I don't care how much I love the cause. The first way to get me to not want to opt in is to text me, because I know at some point I probably automatically was opted into receiving messages. So what do? I'm like, nope, I don't respond to those things. And I, what do you call it? And I do something else. I got distracted by my husband playing the guitar. I apologize. Notice, don't give people rewards. Don't use the system that you get irritated by. Right. Wendy, yeah, notice that. I can't think of any kind of advert that I have gotten in the mail that has made me run out and purchase something, a service or a good. Sometimes there are people, though, that do react to that. Ooh, look what's on sale at Acme. Tuna fish is on sale for 50 cents a can. If I didn't know about that from the thing, I may not run out and buy their thing. But do I really need a bunch of tuna fish? If you need tuna fish, go buy the tuna fish. If it's important to you to start tracking the prices, then yeah, get the things from the grocery stores and see who has different prices. So using those things and then donating them away. But yeah, it's a different marketing world. Remember, we were talking about the way in which you reach people now? Paper marketing, snail mail marketing is so old school, yet it must work for some people. My mother saves those things. Oh, I have to get the chimney cleaned, even though I haven't used it in years. And one of the things that reminds her to get that done is a paper reminder in the mail. And so she has to do it. And unless she has a chimney sweep of her own that she's already working with, and I'm thinking of some guy with a top hat, from like Mary Poppins, if she doesn't have that, she may be likely to call the place that's on the postcard. Visual reminders. Do not underestimate the power of visual reminders. How much of your clutter in your house is a visual reminder to take an action? How much of your paper clutter is under the category, I got to do something with these pieces of paper? These papers are reminding me to take an action, to make a phone call, to sign the thing, to make a return, all that. If we are visually reminded, then let's know about that to ourselves and use it for our good. Hey, everybody, let's celebrate. It's 11:50. Just as a heads up, it's 11:50. We've got about 10 minutes together. So I say this to you, much like we would at a decluttering party, of which the tickets are available now for the ones in October. They're on the secret page. So take a look at what you're doing past noontime today. Okay? If you are decluttering right now, but you need to shift gears after noontime, maybe start tidying things up. Whatever you've done good. Okay? But just notice what time it is. But let's celebrate. Laura Voorhees, Matchy Matchy Done. There were more matches in there that I thought, and it took less time than I thought it would. Now I get to move my current music stuff into the bench. Laura Voorhees. Yeah. How cool. Yeah. And look, Wendy, if Laura can do it, you can do it too. Yeah. So wonderful. Good stuff. Good stuff. All righty. I'm just going to check on something real quick here. Is that today? 11/18. Okay. I think that's today's. Oh, good. I will have the opportunity. Oh, and I'm glad I have some visual reminders of some fun things of buying pumpkins and my friends going on a run. I got to share those photos. I need to upload the TikTok recording, and this is being recorded, and it will be on the October playlist. Visual reminders. I use the way my email is set up. As I glance over to the page with my emails on it, I use my inbox as a visual reminder to take action about something, to get back to the guy about a trip, to like to play the New York Times game. I just started that. This is a cool thing, you guys. I will put this in the email to crew, and the declutter parties for the month of September. We didn't have a lot of them, and they were fairly smallly attended, but we still are going to be able to donate $220 to the women's homeless shelter. So yay for the decluttering party. You paying money to help yourself and help somebody else. So good stuff. So that was a reminder when I got the report from Square to share that good information with you and for me to donate the money. Notice this. Donate money. Okay? Good stuff. Once I do those things, I can then file that or delete it. So if you're a visual reminder person, have the place where you tend to put your visual reminders. That's why this is so helpful. It's why my Trello list I find so helpful. And I even use the way my emails are set up to remind me to take action. Because if it wasn't in front of me, I may forget it. So it's in there because that's a list of things to do. Good stuff. Good stuff. Alrighty. Wendy says, my wish list is to get my crafting supplies sorted and organized. I want to label my container so it is easy to grab the right one instead of digging in 3 before I find what I want. Wendy, I love hearing that. And what I highly recommend is the fact that you so wonderfully articulated that and you wrote it. You got the words down on paper. Write that down somewhere so you can see it on a more frequent basis. If that's your wish list, then write it down somewhere where you see it all the time. Because if you write it in the comments, that's a good start because you've already articulated it. You could literally copy word for word what you just put in the comments. But writing it down somewhere and maybe hanging it up in front of your face to remind yourself to take the action to sort and organize my crafting supplies, label my containers. And notice, you want to do it to make things easier. It's easy to grab the right one because I want to grab and start crafting as opposed to digging in 3 before finding what I want. So Wendy, you can make your wishes come true. Okay? Now, Marietta says, what if we haven't started because we just woke up trying to get back on a sleep schedule? Well, start now, silly. You're awake now. Start a plan from noontime on. Seize the day. All right? Can you hear that? I don't know if you can. Here, we'll have some musical accompaniment. Because the house is going to be quiet in a few days because he's going away on tour for like months. I don't know what song it is. Anyhow, it's never too late. Oh, the door shut. It's never too late to start, Marietta. Start now. Start now. Start in a half an hour. But sit down, write down a plan for the day, no matter how rough or messy it is. Okay? I have stuff that has been blocked in, and I have some loosey-goosey stuff that I want to get done before the day's out, And yeah, the fact that you are trying to get back on a sleep schedule, we always talk about the most important thing is you helping with your taking care of your own human body. is going to really help you set up for it. So don't make yourself feel bad for sleeping. I hope you're not. I hope you're not. Okay. Yes. And Wendy, right there. Wendy, that sleep schedule is so important to your declutter journey and your journey through life. Rest is just as important as working through your tasks. Yeah. Okay. Now everybody's got their own way of doing things. LO says my 42 folders tickler file system helps me a lot. I don't even know what that is, but I love that it works for you. I know what works for me. And so that's what I share with people. And I like things that are simple and easy and don't take a lot of time and are good enough. Okay. Yeah. Hey, isn't this great? We are all experiencing, let's all experience this. Pretend each one of us suddenly had a piano bench in our house. Okay. And let's do this along with Laura Voorhees. She has now reached her destination declutter, boom, boom, piano bench. And she is now there. It looks good when she opens it up and she says, wow. So let's all, it feels great to open the bench lid and not be embarrassed about a hidden mess. Doesn't that feel good to not see a hidden mess? You know? Yay, Laura Voorhees. And Wendy, I am so sorry to hear you say that you were wearing yourself out when you began your declutter journey, saying one was more important than the other. Decluttering is self-care. Decluttering can help you also take better care of yourself, because you will start to notice how you feel about things. And I am always saying slow and steady wins the race. And there may be days that you don't do anything, and that's okay. But you also, here's the important thing. You don't have to rush and make up for lost time. You can just start at a pace. You can start again, and you can start at a pace that works for you. You don't have to be afraid of making up your hours because you slept. That's not helpful sometimes, okay? Now, because Wendy says, I was wearing myself out thinking decluttering is more important than self-care, and the burnout did her in, okay? And Laura Voorhees, she did a good thing, and then she just took a scan from the crown on down. I love it. And methinks a nap is required. I bet it is, because decluttering will empty your tank. When you notice your tank is empty, and we've got like a minute here, then pull over and fill your tank. I'm driving in the slow lane today, and it's okay, says Lady Bandit. Yeah. Yeah. So notice the guilt. Lose the guilt, people. There's no guilt when you're hanging out with me. Okay. So, all right. Speaking of shifting gears, I have to shift gears into coaching. And so I'm going to sign off. There are TikTok lives and YouTube lives scheduled for tomorrow, which is Friday. Saturday, I'm away until Monday. Then we have some on Tuesday. It is always so much fun to hang out with you all. I hope everybody here is feeling good about what you did, even if what you did was just sit and listen. Okay. Always a pleasure. Toodles, as Wendy says. Let me change the view on this so I can actually end it. And I will see you later.